This here is a good client of ours. He bought this one recently as they're starting to go down in price. He's adding it to the stable. I won't say how many he has, but he has more than one. This is a 2004 Porsche 996 Turbo. It is all-wheel drive. It is twin turbo, even though it just says turbo in it. Today we're doing maintenance on it. We're swapping over exhaust that he had from a different car, so aftermarket exhaust on it. Fred's gonna be taking care of the spark plugs, the coil packs, and he's gonna be doing the exhaust for us. So I'm gonna be looking over this thing for a coolant leak. The coolant leak is kind of an inherent problem with these when you track them hard or you drive them hard. It does have an odd fix for a Porsche, but I've been told that it's kind of the go-to fix before we have to take the engine out and do other things. So we're gonna see if that is the problem. As long as it's the problem, we'll do our go-to fix.
What are you going to do with this Volkswagen?
What? Oh, I didn't see you there. I don't think even, actually, I don't even know what I'm supposed to be doing to this, so I can't answer that question. But right now I'm taking off some plastic bits. Eventually, somewhere in this whole thing, there's going to be spark plugs removed. And there's some inherent issue with these, I guess, where they leak something from somewhere, and he bought a kit to fix that. So the engine has to come out because it's a Porsche.
We've got a coolant leak to find, and a Fred. He's staying warm. It's cold as fuck here. I don't care how cold it is where you're at. It's cold for me. We're gonna take a lot of this stuff out that's up front, the intake stuff, because we want to try to see back there better to see if we can actually pinpoint where it's leaking coolant before we take.
So we can smear it with JB Weld.
I mean, we are. So there's some coolant hoses back there. Well, I can't see anything really more.
Well, just start dumping tap water into the engine.
Where the f***?
It's on the left-hand side.
Pass the dough chip on the left.
Pass the dough chip on the left-hand side.
Oh, f***. I can see it behind the alternator. I don't think you can see it with the camera, but... So anyways, we didn't have to pour anything in this. I took off the radiator cap, or coolant cap, and it just started pouring. So that was holding enough vacuum somewhere. But yeah, I'm gonna take the alternator off, because I think it's behind the alternator.
It's raining, it's pouring, the Porsche is leaking.
My hope is that Fred returns quickly with propane so that we can warm up. Because it was 29 degrees this morning. My car was covered in ice. It's not why I live in Arizona. There we go. All right, so we found the problem. I just want to get something in there to look more to make sure that this was the only one. But this is a little coolant tube that routes everything around, and it popped out of its hole, which from what I know, it's just glued in there from the factory.
It doesn't get more straightforward than that. Is straight up popped out. It
Yes,
was
yes.
that when I looked in there.
Yeah, well, yeah, because I don't know, it might have been, was it like that, or was it?
No, it was straight up like that.
Damn. There we go. All right. I just want to make sure the hole isn't filled with shit. All right, I am going to figure out what I'm doing with this. So this is a knurling tool, and it's just supposed to put some grooves in there. That way, when the JB Weld goes in, it's got more stuff to hold on. Oh, look at that. And it's working. Yeah, this tool is actually really cool. Whoa.
That's sick.
And of course, in all Porsche builds, you bust out the JB Weld. This JB Weld says 4 to 6 hours for setup. There we go. We might just let it set up, pour water in it, and see if there's any other things before we put everything back together. It's been sitting for about a day. It feels pretty well set up, so I'm going to put the hose on. Throw that thing away. I'm going to put the hose on. We're going to put some water through it, and then hopefully there's no more leaks, and that was the only one. And as long as that's good, we're going to piece this together and start finishing putting like the new exhaust on it and other stuff. That way we're going to be all done. Also, I'm going to show you the proper way to bleed the cooling system in a Porsche, which is really fun because it's actually vacuuming. So far it's holding water. I'm going to actually drain out everything with the drains underneath, because there's, I don't know, there's like 3 or 4 underneath for the cooling system. Just because I also don't know what type of water he put in at the racetrack when this happened. So I just want to drain everything out. The last thing that's going to test and make sure that there is no more coolant leaks is actually our vacuum. Because if it doesn't hold a vacuum, obviously there's a leak somewhere. This is a cone that goes in there. You tighten that, it'll expand, then it's sealed in there. And then we take this piece, sticks on the end, and what this does is it sucks air out of the cooling system. And the cool thing is, on longer hoses, you can actually see them collapse because it actually is just taking all the air out. So as long as this holds vacuum, gets to around 20, the system is sealed and we're ready for coolant. Oh, we're actually getting coolant from other parts of the car. The reservoir's filling up now. Yep, so now the hoses are starting to collapse. Okay, I'm gonna close it, and if it gets to 0 after a couple minutes, then I'm gonna say there's still a leak somewhere. If it stays close to 20 or around 20, then we're golden. 3 minutes later, hasn't moved. Calling that good. We'll do this again once we have coolant here, but I just wanted to make sure, or once we're ready to actually do it, when I want to get everything together, but I'm gonna say it's sealed. There we go. We have it at 20.5 inches of vacuum. This is the little mechanism that feeds it in. This will just literally suck in all of the coolant. And I have this funnel because I literally just keep filling the jug as it's going. So we're also gonna put this stuff in because distilled water and water wetter actually are great for racetracks. Distilled water, being that it cleans up very easily, water wetter, it actually does help run up to 20 degrees cooler. And if you have straight distilled, you'll get much closer to that extra 20 degrees cooler. If you have regular coolant, it's not as much extra cooling. And essentially what that is coolant isn't designed to cool the engine. Coolant is designed to not freeze. It's a big misconception there. All right, back to the suck. You can just watch it come out of the gallon. So the coolant fix that we had to do, the little tube under there, which I guess on the turbos is a common thing, is all taken care of. We don't have any leaks. Coolant is in it. I'm going to do the final process of turning it on and letting it run. Also, we did a transmission fluid or a transmission filter service on it. So I got to bleed or add all the fluid, top it off. We put on aftermarket exhaust on this one. And then we're going to do a coilover install, which if you're curious about the coilover install, we actually have a video already out with the coilover install. So you can watch that. And we're going to get this all together, all done with the coilovers, and you'll get to see it at the end. So it's driving great, it shifts well, the Tiptronic works well, we can shift where we want. So transmission's acting well, it's comfy. I don't know how well you can see it, but for coilovers, this is a wonderful ride. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you want to support us any better, go to uwrenchaz.com. We've got merchandise there, t-shirts, hats. My wife actually makes them, so it's not just some random company as well. We also have a few other videos on Porsches. We'll have links and we have playlists and stuff like that. But thanks for watching, guys.